Hello guys, welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're about to do a
Tommy was
a bright side video, 13 tricky riddles to make your decision without hesitation. Alright, let's get started.
exploring old caves outside the city when he got trapped in a mysterious dungeon. There were 3 ways out, but only one of them was safe. Behind the first door, a fire was raging. Behind the second door, there was acid rain, which could melt any substance within seconds. Behind the third door, there was a huge brown bear that hadn't eaten for 2 years. Which way should Tommy choose?
That the one with the 2 black brown, with that dark bear.
No,
that
haven't used go on the fire because
the bear.
Yeah.
Tommy should choose the third way. No animal can go for 2 years without food and survive. Barely. It was a stormy day, and it had been raining for several hours straight. A car accident happened in a tunnel. The yellow car crashed into the red one. The driver of the yellow car said it had been raining so heavily he hadn't seen anything. So the accident wasn't totally his fault. But the police asked the man to stop lying and claimed it was all his fault. Why?
Because he was pretending.
Because you guys are in the middle of the tunnel. How you guys?
Exactly.
How you not gonna?
The accident happened in the tunnel. It couldn't be raining there. Mrs. McAdams, who was having a day off with her friends, came back home in the middle of the day to change her clothes. There, she found out that her daughter, Eveline, who she'd grounded, wasn't at home. Mrs. McAdams got angry and texted Eveline, asking where she was. Eveline texted her back, saying she was at school. The girl even attached a picture of the classroom.
Happy birthday, dear.
Mrs. McAdams didn't believe her daughter and told her to come home immediately. How did she understand Eveline wasn't at school?
Because she
It's
got,
July 4th. Look,
July
it's 10:15 Sunday, July 4th. It's a Sunday, and number 1 is July 4th, which
who goes to school?
Look closely at her cell phone. It's Sunday. There's no school on Sundays.
July 4th.
Ned works in a club. His job is to check people's ID cards and to not let suspicious people or people younger than 21 years old get inside. Take a look at these 3 ID cards and figure out who shouldn't enter the club.
Pause it so we can get more time. Alright, let's see this one. Okay.
that's 20. He's exactly 20. He's 20. Well, let me see when this was made. 3 days ago. So this dude is 22. I know
22.
this dude is 22. This is old and 1990. This is 23, but I'm not going with that. I'm not going with these two. These girls are suspicious. It's one of the 2 girls.
Let's either. So we're gonna go.
I'm going with the top one.
because
The first person is already 21, and nothing else looks suspicious in his ID. The second girl seems alright too. It's written that Brielle was born on September 31st. But such date doesn't exist. Her ID must be fake. Mrs. Cabell is the owner of a small company
September don't
producing
even have
expensive
31 days.
designer
It has
cups.
30 days.
On Friday, when the working week was finally over, she got a call from her bank. The woman found out that someone had stolen all the money she had saved. Mrs. Cabell realized it must have been one of her workers, so she asked each of them what they had been doing that day. Sloan, a sales manager, said she had been talking to their clients and looking for new ones. Atticus, a potter, said he always made 1 cup a day, and he showed all the cups he had done that week. Sierra, a designer, said she had been working, but she also admitted she hadn't been really productive that day because of some family issues. Who lied?
You know, it's the third one.
It's not him because it's a Friday, right? He makes 1 cup a day. It's 4.
Yeah, so technically it's him.
Atticus. There are 5 working days in a regular
Yeah,
week.
look, see?
The man said he made 1 mug a day, but
1
he
mug
only
a
showed
day.
4 mugs. It
Exactly.
means he missed 1 day of work.
So technically,
Lennox
what
and
he would've
Finn were
done,
friends
he
living in the
just,
same
like,
college dorm. One day, Lennox reported that something had happened to his friend. He said Finn hadn't left his room all day. He also never responded to any of Lennox's texts. In the evening, Lennox started to worry and knocked on Finn's door, but the guy didn't answer. Lennox peeked through the keyhole and saw that his friend was lying on the floor, so he called the police. After that, Lennox got arrested. Why?
Because he
Because
could've-
you can't see through through that door.
Or like someone like a neighbor probably know that he killed him. He can't see
See through a
it.
corridor.
Lennox has a bandage on his right eye, but the keyhole is located in such a way that it's only possible to look inside with the right eye. It means the guy couldn't do it. He simply knew what had happened. Esme was
Exactly,
having
I
a
told you you
walk in
can't
the
see
forest
through there.
and got lost for about the 20th time. Hey, don't ask. Anyway, she found the witch's house, walked in, said hi, petted the cat, and asked the witch to show her the way home. But the witch had a problem. She was learning a new spell and accidentally did something strange to her chairs. On the bright side, she now had a riddle for Esme to solve. The witch had 20 chairs. Now, some of the chairs only had 2 legs, and half of the rest had no legs at all. How many legs did all these 20 chairs have in total?
She said half. 10 times 2 is 20.
Yeah.
That's how many chairs he had. 20.
Funny.
We know that some of the chairs have, on average, 2 legs per
So
chair.
look.
The rest of them have either 4 legs or no legs at all.
So I recommend to go with the third one. Because this one
And since half of the rest have no legs and the other half have 4, together they have 2 legs per chair. So there are exactly 40 legs.
Huh?
Mr.
Oh,
Tucker
40
was a businessman.
2 times 4.
He wanted to find an interesting
0.
hobby to impress people.
I see
He
that.
chose art,
I get it.
even
I
though
get it.
he
You
knew
don't get it.
nothing about it. Still, he kept buying paintings and even owned a couple of famous masterpieces. He liked to invite his potential business partners over to show off his collection. One day, his guest was Miss Geneva Darby, a young lady who owned a jewelry business. As always, Mr. Tucker boasted about his collection, but Miss Darby wasn't impressed. Why?
She was interested in jewelry, not artwork.
He's interested in jewelry. Or she probably seen it before.
Look closer at this supposedly 16th century painting. There are a couple of cars on the road, but there were no cars at that time, so the painting must be fake. Evie and Kai were planning to go on a bike tour with their friends. Unfortunately, Evie didn't feel well, so she canceled on her friends and asked Kai to stay with her. Kai was disappointed, but agreed. Evie fell asleep. When she woke up, she already felt better. She offered Kai to ride their bikes a bit, just the 2 of them. But when they went outside, Evie realized that while she had been sleeping, Kai had been out with the friends without her. How did she understand it?
It's wet.
It's why was like this name tags. I mean not name tags, like he probably had stickers
Look,
on the
Evie's
tags.
bike is all wet. It must have been raining while she was asleep. But Kai's bike is dry. It means that he used it and then wiped it off. Or maybe he wasn't even in the area when it was raining. 2 weeks ago, a bank was robbed, but the robber hadn't been found yet. A phone call woke Detective Callum up in the middle of the night. His colleague reported that a farmer had found the money. When the detective arrived, he questioned the farmer. The man said, I argued with my wife and went outside. That's when I found a bag with money in a cornfield. Detective Callum asked if the farmer had noticed anything suspicious before. The farmer replied, about 2 weeks ago, before going to bed, I looked out of the window. I saw a man walking through the field. It was a full moon and I could clearly see his silhouette. But there wasn't enough light to notice more details about him. The farmer was arrested. Why?
Because you said it was a full moon, you could see the silhouette, but you said you couldn't see anything else.
The full moon
The
that
farmer said it had been a full moon 2 weeks before. But it's impossible. As you see, it's a full moon now. The farmer is lying. But why?
Wait, let me see, huh?
The farmer was arrested. Why?
It's a full moon. It is a full moon. I didn't see that. Alright, that one got it.
The farmer said it had been a full
moon is
moon 2 weeks
full.
before. But it's impossible.
No,
As you see,
that's
it's a full moon
that's what
now.
he's-
The farmer
he's
is
saying what he
lying.
said.
But why?
Oh,
Ashley was hurrying to an unplanned business meeting. She asked her boyfriend, Dean, to walk the dog. Dean agreed. But then his friend called and invited him to play a new video game. So the guy decided to skip walking the dog that day and joined his friends. He and Ashley met right outside the house when they both were going back home. Ashley asked what Dean had been doing. The guy said, "I walked the dog and then went to play video games with my friends." Ashley immediately understood he was lying. How did she figure it out?
Because the dog is not there.
Exactly.
And also you don't see no paw prints.
What? I don't see no paw prints. Where? Oh, look,
It's
see
winter.
the paw prints right
Look at
there.
the footprints in the snow. There are Ashley's footprints going both ways and Dean's footprints going both ways too. But there are no dog footprints. Mrs. Rivers reported that someone had broken into her house. They stole all the money and jewelry she kept in her living room. Detective Callum arrived to investigate the crime. The room was a mess. It was obvious that someone had been looking for something there. But in the end, the detective concluded that there was no robbery. Mrs. Rivers made the whole thing up. Why did he decide so?
Because look, there's a mess.
No, there's no broken window or anything. I'm pretty sure.
Exactly. So simple. She made the mess.
Look at this very expensive and fragile tea set lying on the floor. If a criminal had really been there, he wouldn't have cared about the set. It would be smashed after falling down. It seems that when Mrs. Rivers was staging a robbery, she didn't feel like breaking her expensive tea set. Viviana and Malcolm were working outside. Malcolm was repairing the roof, and Viviana was working in the garden. Suddenly, a hammer fell from the roof and hit Viviana on the head. She was taken to a hospital, and the police came to figure out what had happened. When Malcolm told them everything, the police arrested him for staging an accident. Why didn't they believe the guy?
Because he was fixing the roof with the hammer and then out of nowhere
He probably hit it his hand and then let go of the hammer. Then it probably hit it.
Viviana was working right next to the house. She was sitting under the roof. If the hammer had fallen accidentally, it would have slid down the roof and fallen behind the woman's back. It could hit her only if someone threw it at her on purpose. Well, that's not nice.
Oh, well dang. There you go. Let's see if we can do one more riddle before...
Oh, what's door safe?
Oh wait, no,
That was
that's the
the one
same.
we want.
Alright, let's do this one.
What's one is not a human? That's easy. Isn't that? Isn't
Look at these guys in masks. Can you tell which one isn't human?
I apologize. We need some time.
We can't be pausing like that though because we are playing.
Alright, look. Okay, let's look everywhere.
Alright, we gotta go.
Look, see, he's not a human.
It's the one on the left. Look closely, and you'll
his
see that the
eyes.
skin around its eyes is green. Alice, Beth,
you said it was the
Cece, and
middle,
Diana
not the-
are
that
standing in line to get a new video game. Alice is standing between Beth and Cece. Cece is in front of two people, and Diana is in front of her. Can you say in which order the girls stand?
Wait, you guys are gonna have to be quiet.
Alice, please. And you'll see that the skin around its eyes is green.
Quiet.
Alice, Beth, Cece, and Diana are standing in line to get a new video game. Alice is standing between Beth and Cece. Cece is in front of two people, and Diana is in front of her. Can you say in which order the girls stand?
Alright, so
Alice, Beth, Cece, Diana.
Alice is between Beth and Cece, right? So I'm guessing
Beth is first.
Cece is in front of two people. So we're gonna bring Alice right there, Cece right there.
Cece.
Diana is before her, so we're gonna slide her in front. So we're gonna put this one right here. So we're gonna do this, alright? We're gonna do this. We're gonna take...
Gemma is a
I didn't mean to do that.
Look at these.
Why?
Then Diana is the first one, and Cece is the second one. Then Alice is standing between Beth and Cece. So the third person is Alice, and the last one is Beth. There are 10 students in class. 6 of them learn French, and 7 people learn Spanish. If every student learns at least one foreign language, how many students learn both French and Spanish? At least one foreign language.
Oh.
There are 10 students in class. 6 of them learn French, and 7 people learn Spanish. If every student learns at least one foreign language, how many students learn both?
Both of them. 7 plus 6.
7 and 6, alright? So basically, So in this case, 4 and 3. So that means
4 and 3 is 7.
those are 4 and 3 is 7. So that means at least 3 people had
French
learned
and
both
Spanish.
languages.
Exactly, but we got some math on us.
At least 3 people.
Oh my gosh. If not, if we got it wrong,
6 plus 7 is 13. And since there are just 10 students, the additional 3 are the ones that learn both languages.
easy brain.
A police officer was following a robber around the city. Suddenly, the criminal rushed toward a hospital and disappeared. When the police officer entered the building, she saw 3 people. One of them must be the robber, who had
All I
dressed up to
know is-
pretend to be a doctor. Can you tell who the criminal is?
The second one. It's the second one. Look at his shoes. Look
Third
at
one.
it.
Third one. Look, that's mud.
Oh yeah, I think I'm saying
It's the
third one.
girl on the left. Look at her shoes. They're dirty. She didn't have time to clean or change them. Taya was getting ready for a job interview when the lights went off. She was in a rush and didn't have time to wait till the lights were back on. The girl was almost ready. She only needed to put on her socks and boots. Taya had socks of 3 different colors: black, white, and gray. She didn't care what color her socks would be, but she needed 2 socks of the same color. How many socks should Taya take to make sure there will be at least 1 matching pair?
3. At least 3.
Sometimes 3 and sometimes 2. So I'm just gonna go with 3 and 2. They're both.
She just needs 4. Even if the first 3 are of different colors, the 4th one will either be black, white, or brown, matching one of the others. Devin takes a bath only on even days of the month. How many times a year does he take a bath?
Wait, what do you
Or
do?
brown, matching one of the others.
Hey, Google. Hey, Siri. Hey, Siri. Oh, dang it. Because I'm recording. Yep, I am recording, so that's what happened.
Devin takes a bath only on even days of the month. How many times a year does he take a bath?
I don't know. There's like
Once a
12.
month?
I'm gonna guess 190 something.
Well, let's see. Except for February, all months have 30 or 31 days. In a month, there are 15 even days. So, it's 15 multiplied by 11. In February, there are 28 or 29 days, which means 14 even days in any case. So, we add 14. In total, Devin takes a bath 179 times a year.
A year?
It's an early Monday morning. William and Daniel are both driving to work. But who is doing something wrong?
This dude.
Yeah, he's driving way too fast. Down. He's laying down while he's just standing up.
Daniel, look, he's driving way above the speed limit.
Ow.
Cassie and Fawn are also driving above the speed limit because they're in a hurry. Cassie is late for her interview, and Fawn is rushing to a hospital. Who's breaking more rules?
Her. Bro, look at the lamps. Look at the lamps.
Her.
Yeah, it's her. Look at the lamps.
Fawn. They're both driving way above the speed limit, but Fawn isn't wearing her seatbelt.
Oh, dang. This one's breaking.
Caspian and Delaney are getting ready for a summer barbecue party. It's Delaney's birthday. Caspian is cooking, and Delaney is busy with the decorations. Who is not very smart?
Her?
Him.
Her. I mean him. Whatever his name is. The one that's cooking. Look out, there's flies.
Him.
Caspian. He's left the meat in the sun, and it's slowly going bad while he's
Who
cooking.
leaves me at the sun?
Everly and Bridget are sisters, and they're both going out on a date tonight. They both play tennis, so they told their parents that they were going to practice. Who's worse at lying?
This one. The one in the black jacket.
Look,
And
she
a
got
person
purse.
in her hand.
And
Bro,
look
you
at-
look like you actually about to go on a date.
Bridget. Both are dressed too fancy for the training, but
She
at
got
least Everly has a
lipstick,
backpack
she got
and her
a
equipment with her.
jacket,
Her
she got a
parents will
purse.
probably think she'll change later. Bridget
How do the parents do not
doesn't
know?
even have her tennis racket with her.
She got a backpack.
This is your home. This is your family room / gym. The guest bedroom / music studio. The day.
Nellie and Genesis are cleaning windows in their house. They're both in a pretty dangerous position now, hanging out of the windows. But who's in greater danger?
Her.
The one on the 3rd floor.
Because you were at the fall.
Damn.
Gone.
Dang. Sorry, my dude.
Genesis.
Look at her.
She's cleaning the window on a higher floor.
Dang.
She was in the last one. Because,
Easton
you know the girl on the first floor? If she were at the fall, she was in.
let his daughter go to her friend's birthday party. He told her to do her homework instead. Karina's daughter had to spend all day in her bedroom too, instead of going to the movies. The teenagers came down to dinner at 7 o'clock. Whose daughter had snuck out of the house?
She's wet.
She's all wet than her. Technically, it's her.
Yeah, the one in the White House.
Yeah, look, she's
Easton's.
all wet.
It's raining, and his daughter's hair is wet. She must have been outside. Esme was having a walk in the forest and got lost. She tried to find her way back, but instead, she stumbled across a witch's house. She petted a black cat and asked the witch to take her back home. The witch was busy with some math, and she had a riddle for Esme. If she solved it,
I've
she
seen
could.
this one before.
No, that's not
Esme
that's
only
not the
needs
same
4
one.
minuses. She should put them right there. In a parallel universe, people are only allowed to have fun and eat candies. No one ever reads or studies there. Mrs. Relum comes back home after a long day at a club. Her 3 daughters have spent the whole day at home. The woman asks them what they've been doing. Hannah answers she's been playing computer games all day long. Ellie says she spent the day outside with her friends, playing in the park. Ava claims she's been in bed all day, doing nothing and eating cake. Still, Mrs. Relum can tell that one of her daughters is lying. That daughter actually spent the whole day studying. Who is it?
The one.
It's Hannah. Take a closer look at her desk. There's an open book and a copybook. If she was playing computer games, they wouldn't be there. Emmeline was at her chemistry exam, trying to get an A. Unfortunately, the professor gave her a task that she couldn't solve. Then the professor asked her to crack a riddle to see if she could think fast. I have 3 daughters. Rain is now twice as old as Phoenix will be when Calliope is as old as Rain is now. Who is my oldest daughter, and who is the youngest? Can you help Emmeline crack? Rain is now twice as old as Phoenix will be when Calliope is as old as Rain is now. Who is my oldest daughter?
I will have 3 daughters now. Reagan would be twice as old as Phoenix when Peasel.
When Calliope is older as Rain. Now, who is my oldest daughter and who is the youngest?
Who is the youngest? Can you help Emmeline crack this riddle?
It looks like Emily. It looks like what you call it. Well, this is Reagan, and then Phoenix is the smallest.
Rain is older than Phoenix and Calliope because in the future, Calliope will be the same age and Phoenix will be half as old. So obviously, Calliope is the middle sister and Phoenix is the youngest. 4 friends were driving to a neighboring city. The driver got distracted and got into a car crash. A police officer arrived and started an investigation. He asked who was driving, but no one wanted to take the blame. Then the officer inspected the car. Can you tell who was driving?
She is, because she has no sweater on.
The driver was the blonde girl. Look,
Exactly.
there's a sweater on the driver's seat. She's the only one not wearing a jacket or a sweater, so it must belong to her. Let's test how attentive you are. Here's a ball and 3 cups. I'll put the ball here in the middle cup. Your task is to watch the ball and then tell me where it is. Ready? Go! So, where's the ball?
It's in the middle again.
In the middle again. You better tell me it's in the middle.
It's gonna be in the middle.
In the middle.
Look, it's in here. Did you get it?
Yep.
Okay, let's try once again. Now I have 4 cups, and I'll be moving faster. I'm putting the ball right here. Watch it closely.
Yeet, yeet. Ooh, that is way too.
So, where do you think the ball is?
Right there. Right there. Right there. Right there.
It's in this cup.
Let's go.
Now let's make it extra hard and check if you can still get it. 5 cups,
Ooh.
even faster than before. Ready? Here we go.
How you guys if you guys gonna go through the cups, how you expect
So,
me to get it?
now where's the ball?
Pretty sure it's in the middle. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, it's right here. If you got it right, you have my absolute respect. Mrs. Lawrence has 4 children. 3 of them are daughters, Kennedy, Aurora, and Serenity. And 1 is her son, Everett. They are 13, 16, 20, and 21. Guess how old each of them is if the youngest child is a girl. Kennedy is older than Everett, and the sum of the ages of Kennedy and Aurora can be divided by 3.
Kennedy.
There are just 2 pairs of numbers that can be divided by 3, 13 and 20, and 16 and 20. Since Kennedy is older than Everett, he can't be the oldest child. So the oldest one is Serenity. Since the youngest one is a girl, and it can't be Kennedy, then the youngest one is Aurora. She must be 13. In this case, Kennedy is 20 years old, and Everett is 16.
Have a guitar but don't know how to play it?
Yeah.
I was talking to the... Never mind. So, let me show you how easy it is to play the Simply Guitar. First step, download the Simply Guitar app, obviously. And then...
Wait, still downloading? Okay.
After the app helps you tune your guitar, it explains how to play your first notes. And the most amazing part is, it listens to you.
Really? Cool. I want to learn how to play guitar.
It listens to the guitar.
Mrs. Lewis came home after work and noticed that one of her daughters had made a sandwich, but hadn't cleaned up afterward. The woman went upstairs and saw that all 3 of her daughters were doing their homework. Abby, Ruby, and Nicole denied making a mess. Still, Mrs. Lewis knew who was guilty. How about you?
I have a feeling she did because she...
Look at the kitchen attentively. There's some butter on the right side of the knife, which means that the person who made the sandwich was left-handed. Mrs. Lewis only has 1 left-handed daughter, and that's Nicole. 6 siblings, Ingram, Regala, Corona, Agnard, Ardumo, and Modnor, founded a magical school. A pair of siblings founded each house of this school, Rymeth, Madlo, and Demora. 1. Each house was founded by a brother and a sister. 2. Corona and Regala founded Rymeth and Madlo, but not necessarily in this order. 3. Ingram and Ardumo founded Madlo and Demora, but not necessarily in this order. 4. Agnard and Regala founded the same house. Who founded each house?
Right, Corona and Sonic. So Agna, yellow,